Before we get into today's video, I'd like to ask you a question. Have you ever thought about making money for game mastering? If you have, go to GameShopsBasement.com. There's a banner ad at the top that can take you some more information about learning how to do just that. And now, on with our feature presentation. For today's Game Shop's Basement video, we're doing a Mysteries of Mystara video. And this one is about a website, the Vaults of Pandius at pandius.com. And the thing is, this website is, as far as I know, if there's a better website than this for Mystara, I don't know about it. This is the website that has tied together pretty much the entire online Mystara fan community. There are probably at least a couple hundred people that have contributed to this website over the years. You can see their names on the website. It's just it's like a hub center for other smaller Mystara communities. They all kind of plug in here to Vaults of Pandius. The Vaults of Pandius like the glue that connects the other communities. And there's a lot of material on here. They do a semi-quarterly online magazine called Threshold, and fans of Mystara might know that Threshold was one of the original starter villages in the Kingdom of Karamakos, or back then it was the Grand Duchy of Karamakos, or it still is the Grand Duchy of Karamakos if I'm in the minority. I actually run Mystara with the Wrath of the Immortals having happened. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like the Wrath of the Immortals and just ignore it and run Mystara like it didn't happen. So depending on whether you liked Wrath of the Immortals or not, it's either the Grand Duchy of Karamakos or the Kingdom of Karamakos. But so Threshold was a starter village in the early days of Mystara for player characters to start in. So, but yeah, so it's the content in just one issue of Threshold magazine is just as good and in many cases better than like an official canonical Wizards of the Coast product that you would buy in a store. I mean, it really, really is. I mean, I use it. I've run all sorts of things from it. Recently I incorporated the Hollow Moon into my Mystara campaign that came from Vaults of Pandius. The Vaults of Pandius and all the material from all the awesome contributors. Like, I like to brag, and because that I didn't make it. I didn't put in the love, sweat, and hours to make it. But just because of Vaults of Pandius, I have the entire planet of Mystara mapped. In my campaign, Open Sandbox, you could go anywhere, and I can start DMing what's there. If I don't know it off the top of my head, I can look it up quickly and come up with a story off the cuff. So I've got that much reference information. And then there's Hollow World and Hollow Moon and the rest of the Mystara solar system. And it's the Vaults of Pandius at pandius.com is just a treat. Whether you like Mystara in particular, or you're into D&D world building and you just want to look at this world. One quick note about world building. Some of you may have heard this story from me before, but when I was in my 20s in college, I knew ever since I was like in elementary school that I was going to be a writer one day and stuff. So I've always been thinking that way my whole life. But when I was in my 20s in college, I was reading some gaming books and then just putting them back up on my shelf. And I remember being just depressed. I was just blown away by how awesome some of these worlds were, and just the intricacies of the countries and the timelines and the storylines and the histories and the geopolitics and the magic systems and all the cool philosophical ideas and all these things that got woven together in these worlds. And as I was putting a book back on the shelf, I noticed that the names on the spines of the books were different, even for the different world. And I realized that I had one brain, and that I was competing with probably salaried people who were in focus group meetings, and whole teams of people that were piggybacking off of each other and creating these worlds. Like, one person would write the expansion for one country, and somebody else would write the expansion for another country, and somebody else would write the expansion for another country. So Of course, my one brain, my one person's imagination couldn't compete with the collective imagination of an entire team. So it kind of let me off the hook. In terms, I took some of the pressure and the stress off for thinking that, to reach my goal, I have to become like the ultimate world builder. Now, there's no such thing as the ultimate. Well, actually, there is. The ultimate world builder is a team. The ultimate world builder isn't one person. So it's not you, whoever you are. It's not me. It's not any one person of us gamers. The ultimate world builder is a group of us that start piggybacking off each other's ideas and sparking each other's ideas. One idea kind of leads to another. There's so many plots and stories and ideas over the years that have come out of conversations with my really close friends, people that I really respect their creativity and stuff, where maybe I'll start an idea and they'll just finish it and take it in directions I never thought of. Or they'll start an idea and I'll finish it and take it in directions they never thought of. So the best world builder is a collaboration. So anyway, Pandius.com. It is awesome. It is really, I think at this point, that with the sheer volume of information in terms of just, however you wanted to measure it, in terms of land mass covered, in terms of, like there's whole continents like Devania and Skothar that have been fleshed out on Pandius.com, and the official TSR, Wizards of the Coast, whoever owned it at the time as it was coming up through the years, TSR and Wizards of the Coast, they never got around to really Devania or Skothar or anything, but they've got Devania and Skothar in intimate detail at Pandius.com in ways that mesh with the rest of Mystara. That don't seem clunky or don't seem like they were just bolted on to the map. Ways that flow seamlessly into what's already been written before when it was canonically published and available in game stores in the 80s and 90s and stuff. So Pandius.com is where to go if you want to, if you're into Mystara, or if you just want to check Mystara out. If you want to get into Mystara, Pandius.com, free fan community, and it's really the hub of the Mystara fan community on the internet. All right, well, we'll see you tomorrow with more stuff about what we do at the Game Shop's basement. I'll see you in game.